Hello and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning back in. If you are new to the channel, thank you for watching. We decided in summer that we were getting rid of the Caravan. That was it. We were going to get rid of the Caravan, but we wanted to change the car anyway. So I started looking for cars, new cars, any type of car, anything. We looked at hybrids, we looked at full electric, we looked at all sorts. It turned out that full electric wasn't actually cheaper at the moment to run. It was actually dearer to run an electric car. So we looked at all sorts of things, and in the back of my head I was thinking, I want a car that's got everything on it, that I'm not going to a better spec than what we had before, but it had everything on it and it was a decent size. So we were looking around at cars, and we always came back to bigger cars. And in the back of my head, I always think, would it tow a Caravan? Now, at this point, we'd decided to get rid of the Caravan. So we looked, and we kept coming back to the same sort of car. And it was a bigger car that would tow our Caravan. And then that helped us in the decision of whether we're going to keep the Caravan. So we decided to keep the Caravan. And we've got we pay the Caravan off. Decided to keep the Caravan, so we decided that was a car that we were going to have. So what have we gone for? Well, I looked at everything. As you know, before we had a Ford Kuga, and it was 163 brake horsepower. It was 11 years old, and it was okay, but there were a few things that were starting to go wrong with it. And you get to that point where you start paying out for it, and you don't want to pay it anymore. So what have we gone for? Well, stick to what you know. Stick to what you know works. And we've got a Ford Kuga again. We've got a 2018, I think it is, 2018 Ford Kuga Titanium X, which got a few more toys on it. And yeah, we really like it. We've just had our first tow with it. We're on site, and it towed really well. No major problems. It actually felt more stable than the other car, and it returned a better MPG as well. I think I got probably around about 30 miles to the gallon. It's Titanium X, all-wheel drive. So let's have a look round it. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I've already crashed it. More about that later on in the video. I've got a little bit of clip of how I crashed it and what I did. What an idiot, but bit more about that later on. Right, so when inside, it's, as I said, it's a 2-litre all-wheel drive, 180, what do they call it now, PSI or something. It's not brake horsepower, is it? So inside the vehicle, let's have a look round. First thing different for us, it's an automatic. I've always wanted an automatic, and I've driven automatics before, and we've got one. It's really good. I think it's called the Power Shift. It's got the flappy paddle buttons here, so you can change up and down manually if you want to do while it's in auto mode or in sport mode, and it's working okay. It's no problem at all. This one has got the climate control with the start stop. It doesn't actually, well, it does work, but obviously you've got to have the right parameters for that to come on, and it hasn't actually come on yet. So anyway, automatic boot. It's got that thing where you put your foot under underneath the back of it, and it automatically opens. It's got the Sync 3 inside there for the sat nav and everything. We'll just fire it up. I've got it set, obviously the screen's flickering, so you're not going to be able to see that, but I've got it set in dark mode there. So it's got sat nav on there, phone on there. We found that everything works alright on that. There's no major problems. It's got all the display there and all the controls, which are quite good. And there you can scroll through the menus. On the steering wheel, it's got all the different buttons on here for cruise control and volume and everything. Yeah, it's quite spacious inside. The glove boxes are glove compartments inside of the doors are quite big. It's got on this one a panoramic roof, which is absolutely fantastic. It's just one touch and that shuts. The blind comes across like so to there, and then you press it again and that shuts. That's quite nice, really. Quite a nice feature that. It's doesn't half light, let some light in, and then obviously the sunroof opens. You can have it completely open, well, just tilted open, or completely open, which is nice. Let's shut that up. Other thing it's got a, let's switch the engine off. It's got electronic seat in this one, just the driver's seat. It's not got the programmable ones where you can adjust it automatic by setting 1, 2 and 3, but it is electronic on this side, manual on the passenger side, heated seats, leather all through 8. It's got a load of stuff in it at the moment. Obviously it's got leather all through 8. It's got there's ambient lighting in it, so when you get in it at night, there's all this. I've got it set at blue, and you can change the colours of the ambient lighting. I'll sort of put a picture of that in, and that's quite a nice feature. The main thing that we were looking at is that when we were looking to change the car, we were looking at cars, and then I was looking at the cost of having a tow bar fitted. Now, luckily enough, this car, which we found on the internet, came with a factory fit tow bar on it, which is a massive plus for us, because we looked at the cost of tow bars and they're around about £1,000 to have it fitted to a vehicle like this, a Kuga, and this one came with a factory fit. Now the beauty of a factory fit is, you know, that they have fitted the vehicle specific wiring for the caravan. For the car, so all the electrics are vehicle specific, so we know that will work fine and everything works fine on that. I did test that before we towed it. Also, when we had the caravan on and we were reversing onto the pitch, it hasn't got a rear camera on this one. That's the only thing it hasn't got, but I'm not really too bothered about that. But when I put the vehicle in reverse, the car knew that there was a caravan on there because the plug was in and the rear sensors didn't come on, so it disables the rear parking sensors when the caravan's on, which is good. You know, it knows that there's a caravan there. So let's have a look at the back and have a look at the storage and how the tow bar works. I also show you a few things in the car that I don't like. So with the tow bar, all you do is you just press this button here, beeps once, press it again, and down here the tow bar pops out, 13-pin socket there, and it's also got a hook for the breakaway cable, which we didn't have before, which is really handy. And then to put it back, you just press this button once, beeps, press it again, tow bar goes underneath, and then you just push it underneath, and that's the tow bar away. With the boot, you can press the button here. It's got that thing where you wave your foot under, and then it shuts like so. In the back of the car, again, excuse, it's got quite a bit of stuff in the back. Full leather again. The seats fold down with this handle here, but they don't fold flat. You don't get a flat floor in the back, which is it's not too bad. You know, it's got an armrest in the middle with cup holders. You know, vents in the back. Quite big storage bins in the side. Passenger side is manual adjust. Glove box is a little bit smaller than the old one, but it's not too bad. Colour, white. It's a bit dirty because it's a bit horrible weather. I wasn't sure about a white car, but it's not too bad. I quite like it. It's got these xenon headlights. It's got these washers for the headlights. But yeah, I quite like the white colour now. It looks alright. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Right, let's go on to the things I don't like. There are a few things that I found with it that I'm not too, I wouldn't say not happy with, but they could have been more refined. The first one is the automatic park brake on this. You have to pull it on manually, and when you're setting off it comes off automatic, but when it comes off with a bit of a jerk. You know, it could have been more refined, it could have come off smoother, but when you've put your handbrake on and then you just tap the accelerator to, you know, let it go off, it is quite a bit of a jolt. So that could have been a little bit smoother. You know, they could have sorted that out. There's not as much storage in this as there was in the older Kuga. In the last Kuga, in the back underneath the seats were storage bins. It hasn't got any of them anymore. The boot is bigger on this one. The vehicle's longer. The boot is bigger, but underneath where the hatch lifts up, it's not as deep as our old Kuga, so we can't get as much storage in there. Other thing that kind of annoys me is in, I don't know if you can see this here, the door compartment. Now as you're sat in here and you're trying to get your hand in, because you're quite close, you can't bend your hand down to get to the back of here, because you know, if you've got something in here trying to grab, it's kind of in the way for me, that, and that bugs me a little bit. Other things that kind of bug me, well, not bug me, this here is the sync. It's got Apple CarPlay on here and everything, so that works really well. This is a CD player. Now, I actually didn't know what that. I didn't know it was a CD player at first. I thought it was something to do with the sync, but it is a CD player, and it kind of seems to me like they've got all this nice radio here, all fitted in, and they thought to themselves, "Oh crap, we've not put a CD player. I know what we'll do. We'll just chuck it on the top there." And to be fair, it looks ugly. It could have done without that. Who has CDs these days? Nobody has CDs. You know what I mean? So they could have done without that, really, I think. Another thing is this for the, I think this is for the wipers, automatic headlights and all sorts of stuff in here. That's quite big. It takes up quite a lot of the windscreen, that. So that could have done with, I don't know, being further up or adjusting. Other than those things, other than that, it's absolutely fantastic. You know, it's... I'm going to and from work, doing more mileage and getting about 40, but usually about 43 miles to the gallon, as it is an all-wheel drive. So it's performing okay. Towing was around about 30 miles to the gallon, which is not too bad. So that's the car. We'll give you an update on that in a few months, tell you how we're getting on with it, but so far so good. We've not had any problems with it. How did I bump it? Well, Angela's looking at me laughing. At the front of our house we have some bins on the driveway, and Angela, I did say to Angela that the car was slightly bigger than our last one, and she said, well, move the bins, and I said no, it'll be fine. Anyway, I should have listened to my wife. I got in the car one morning and I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. I remember putting it into reverse and put my foot on the gas. I put a clip in, you can hear the engine revving, and it didn't go backwards, and then all of a sudden it just shot forwards. I think what I might have done was put it in reverse, but it was possibly in between I don't know, the gear. And it's got 3 dents on the front where the bin handles went in. So yeah, pretty annoyed. I didn't realise I'd done it until that evening when I come home from work and I noticed there were some dents in the bonnet. But anyway, I'm laughing about it now, so that's all. You know, it's only a car. Booked in to have it fixed and have it sorted, and I will give you an update on that and show you what it looks like when it's done and tell you where I've had it done. Yeah, that silly mistake, but never mind. So that's it. That's our new car. It wasn't going to be a tow car, but it did end up being a tow car because we weren't looking for a tow car, but we just ended up getting that one. And for us, it's a great car. Thanks for watching. You take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.